Welcome back, viewers. Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. In today's video, I'm just going to be talking to you about things to be mindful of when it comes to safety planning for a mother and children possibly who are experiencing domestic violence or domestic abuse. Um, Before I jump into today's video, I just want to say if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, hit that notification bell so that when I post, you'll be the first person to know. And these days, I think I'm trying to respond to the comments of the viewers. And I think there is a viewer who asked me, how best can I come up with a safety plan for a mother with teenage children who is experiencing domestic violence? So this was in response to that. But I think with me trying to support that person through this video, somebody else might be learning one or two things from what I'm going to be delivering today. The other thing which I need to clearly spell out is to put a disclaimer to say I don't claim to be a guru in this field, but information I'm sharing here is from my own experience or from my own practice experiences, and also from my self-directed learning as well as my interaction with colleagues. So don't take it as gospel, but you try to make sure that the plan I'm going to be delivering today, you can actually readjust it to suit the needs of the children or the needs of the family that you are working with. With those few words said, let me jump straight into it. So, when it comes to safety planning for a possibly a mom and possibly children who are experiencing domestic violence, the first and foremost thing that you need to be thinking about is to make sure that they are equipped with emergency contact numbers. Depending with the ages of the children, you need to make sure that the children are taught how to dial emergency service numbers, which is 999, if you're in the UK or if you're in England for that matter. And once they dial, they need to, be clearly stating out what information to share, what is happening, who is doing what, where, how, and for how long it has been going on, and all that. So it's about answering those few questions: what, who, how, when you are making that call to emergency support services. The other important thing also in terms of trusted numbers is to have on speed dial some of the numbers of trusted neighbors or trusted friends that, as a mother you can identify, or that as a mother, she can identify, in case of immediate danger or if in case of emergency, really. So that's really, really important. Point number 2 is to make sure that you identify safe places for them to go to, or if you are the mother, you identify safe places that you can have a conversation with your children to say, if things kick off, this is our plan, this is where we will be going, this will be our safe place. If it's inside the house, identify a safe room, possibly upstairs, where you can barricade yourself in while you make a call to emergency services, and by the time they get there, you'll be barricading yourself and you keep yourself safe. Sometimes it's also about making sure that you avoid confrontations and identify a safe place where you can go to identify that confrontation. It could be a bedroom with a locked door where you can, go in and lock yourself in whilst you call for emergency support or whilst you call for the police. If it is outside the family home, think about the neighbor's house, think about the community center, or think about the park where there will be many other people, seeing what's going on as well. So it's really, really important to identify a safe place for that mom and those children. Point number 3 is also important to actually develop a code word or to use some code words to identify or to actually signal that things are not okay, things are heating up a bit. So it's important for a mother with those children, for example, to create a secret code word that children can use to alert each other or trusted adults when they need help. And the other trusted adults at the other end of the line should be aware of what that secret code word is and what it is that they need to be doing when they hear those kind of things, happening, really. Let me give you an example. When I was practicing somewhere in Namibia, we used to have a secret code word when you go on a visit and things are kicking off, and you think that things are degenerating into a situation which you're not going to be able to control, and you want the colleagues in the office to to actually ring emergency support services, you could actually say, can you please call Mr. John so and so to let him know that I'm going to be delayed in this visit, I'm going to be coming in the next 5 minutes. That was a code word to indicate to the colleagues in the office that things are heating up, where I've gone on a home visit on my own, and I'm actually at risk and stuff like that. So I'm just giving this an example to say create a code word, that, the children can use to alert another one, or to alert each other that, things are actually heating up and things are not okay. Right. It goes hand in hand with point number 4, which is talking about safety signals. You need to teach children possibly some non-verbal signals, for example, a specific hand gesture to indicate distress or danger, in which the other person or a neighbor will actually know when they see that happening through the window, or whenever, whatever situation the children are in, so that they can be able to alert somebody else outside about what's going on. And then point number 5 is to make sure that the family has got planned escape routes. They need to have discussed this beforehand, and then they need to be aware of what needs to be happening in case of emergence. What is the escape route? They need to be identifying windows, doors, or alternative exits on the ground floor, which they can use to escape from the house or to leave the household altogether. It could be jumping through the window. Practice these escape routes with the children to make sure that when the time comes, they know what exactly they need to be doing. The other important thing, which is really, really, really important, is point number 6, important documents. When you know that things can kick off anytime, the important documents like passports, birth certificates, medical records, they need to be kept in a safe place, which is accessible, in case of emergency, and then you can, make escape, on time actually. But it doesn't necessarily mean that when you don't have them, you can't escape, because remember, your safety is more important than those documents. When you need to actually be leaving, then leave. In terms of getting those documents back, you can always, consult with the police. They can escort you to go and get your documents back or stuff like that. But it's actually important to make sure that these are at hand, because it depends with which part of the country, or sometimes that person may not necessarily be in England, but this is an applicable safety plan in any, part of the world, and it only needs to be adjusted to suit the local needs or the needs of that particular family that you're supporting. Point number 7, which is also important, is around identifying a support network. It could be friends and family, who can be identified to support, who can provide emotional support, as well as temporary shelter when required. It's also important to make sure that the family is aware of the local domestic violence support services and what it is that they do offer. So it's important for you to make sure that the safety plan contains information about the local organizations that can also offer support, so that when the time comes, a mother and the children are actually aware of what they need to be doing. And then point number 8 is around technology. It's important for children to know that which of their dials on the phone is a speed dial to a specific person, or for them also to use the internet safely. If, for example, clearing their browsing history, if there are issues around honor, based violence and stuff like that, where they are afraid that, the other party might actually look into their history and look at what they were browsing, and that can put them in further risk and all that. So they need to be, exercising, safe internet use, so to speak. And to even, there is what we call private browsing mode, if they need to seek help online, and it doesn't necessarily keep track of what you are doing, but it enables them to actually seek support online as well. And then point number 2 from last, which is point number 10, is to make sure that their emotional needs are actually well taken care of. You need to be discussing, with the mom and the children around coping mechanisms, what methods they can use to better take care of their mental health and stuff like that, including talking to a neighbor, talking to a friend, disclosing about what's going on at work as well, to make sure that they get support. Remember, most of the workplaces have got what we call workplace options as well. So it's important for them to actually be making sure that they can actually disclose even at work about what's going on at home. And then the help can come from that angle, and actually a proper safety plan can be put in place on how best they can be supported. And then the other one, the last one, is self-care. It's important to make sure that you encourage mothers and children who are undergoing through domestic violence to make sure that they take care of themselves. They are, engaged in self-care activities, including reading, could be drawing, could be listening to music, you could be watching TV, in order to manage the stress, in order to manage the impact of what they've witnessed already, really. So the last and the most important point to remember is that each safety plan should be unique and tailored to the needs of the children and family that you are working with, or to their specific circumstances, so to speak. So it's important for you as a professional to make sure of that. But however, encourage families to seek professional advice or support where it is needed, because you can't be a jack of all trades. You can't know everything that's going on in your local community. So you need to be signposting them to appropriate, relevant domestic violence abuse support services, so that you can focus on other things that you need to focus to support them on as well. So, make sure that you adapt the safety plan, to the needs of that particular family that you're working with. And you can also, you need to give them information which is local to the area where they live. It could be the same town, but remember, support services in one part of the city may be different from the other part of the city. So you need to make sure that you give them appropriate, resource services for the area in which they are living. And with those few words, thank you so much, and I hope somebody has learned something, has grasped a point or two from today's video. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell so that when I post, you'll be the first person to know. And thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.